2, 1, start. Hey guys, welcome to another dual audio commentary with Cyreaver and Diggity. This has been a really exciting match thus far between Mind and NaDa. Last match was absolutely epic. NaDa kind of locked down because, well, actually, let me get the colors out really fast. Looks like Mind is in white, NaDa is in yellow. So NaDa starting off at the 9 o'clock position, Mind starting at the 3 o'clock position. Distance location, so maybe we'll see some interesting cheese or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, last match, Mind really taking advantage of NaDa going battlecruiser and just dropping all over the map, but not holding out, and just, wow, it was just a total grudge match. It was awesome.
I agree. I've never seen a Terran versus Terran so exciting in the last 10 minutes of that game. Usually Terran versus Terran, I'm not generally excited about them, but like that last 10 minutes was just so epically awesome that I had to go change my pants after I was done watching it, just because it was just so. I want to say something else, but I'll just say mind-blowing instead. Get it? Mind-blowing? Get it? Okay.
Nice. Anyway, but Zodiac, we'll see it. It's going to turn into one of those long. My guess is it's going to turn into another one of those long defensive type matches. The one time I saw it do something actually was with Uvi and NaDa last MSL, where Uvi ended it quick by going kind of a 3 vulture drop, or I'm sorry, 4 vulture drop off a quick starport. We'll see. My guess is NaDa's going to be well prepared for that. But this match, usually because of just kind of the layout of Zodiac, it ends up being more of a long-term economic match. Because the open is just so middle, is just so the middle is just so open though. You really can't. I think it's harder to make kind of those marginal lines like you can in Loki or you can in Blue Storm. So I think you're going to see a lot more focus on dropships, and I would expect actually both players to go 2 starports and just start pumping dropships as a result of that. We'll see though.
I'm going to have to disagree about the dropships. I think because Zodiac has such a huge middle, I think we're just going to see some straight-up tank pushing. I think that both players are just going to forego the dropships. We saw them a ton in Game 1 and a ton in Game 2. Mind might stick to it, but I think NaDa is just going to go straight-up tanks across the middle. There's enough space where you could just push either around the sides or straight up to the middle to get to the opposing player. Unlike Loki and Blue Storm, where the middles are so compacted or distorted that it's hard to do that. But I think with such a huge map like Zodiac, I think it's very easy to just do a nice big tank push down the middle.
Mind, in the meantime, looks like he's going to go for a fast expand, getting that barracks out, kind of going to seal himself in, it looks like. Interesting. Going for kind of an early expansion defensive stance here. NaDa, in the meantime, looks like he's going to get his factory out first. We'll see if that ends up. We'll see if NaDa does what he did last time, where he did a 2 factory push, although he did it with vultures. As you said, it could be a lot more effective on Zodiac than it could. Usually I feel like the dropships, when I say that, I think it's more because the middle is so open, you have to react very quickly to get your troops across in a defensive position, because they can be anywhere across this map at once. So I really feel like you need those dropships out to kind of be defensive, to be everywhere at once. Looks like that first factory going down. We'll see if NaDa puts down that second factory or goes machine shop and pushes out. He's scouting out. My guess is we'll see if he decides to go second factory here. He's going to see that secondary up in the meantime for Mind. Mind doesn't even have a single Marine out in the meantime. Luckily for him, NaDa ended up scouting him second, didn't scout him right off, didn't go straight across the map. Otherwise, I think he might have been in a little more trouble. We'll see if he can get the factory down in the meantime and set up I wouldn't say proper, but a good defense. Single Marine wandering out to do a little bit of harassment here. And it looks like NaDa, once again, just going to go putting down a starport once again. So single factory starport and then vultures. Interesting. I wouldn't say, again, he went 2 factories before, didn't he? But yeah, going for a very quick starport.
Can I name the Marine? Can I call him Bob?
Yeah. Bob's kind of the standard, I think.
Okay. Well, let's call him, and then we'll call the SUV Dion. So Bob and Dion inside of Mind's base just causing mayhem, and Dion doing some amazing micro, actually. And we can see that Mind is actually putting up a bunker, so he's not expecting to get siege tanks out in time for any kind of rush that could be coming from NaDa. Decides to put down a bunker, and we can see that not Bob moving in, unsupported. Actually, was supported by a vulture bike, but Bob's going to get picked off here pretty soon.
Nice blockade.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful blockade by Mind there, pushing up those SCVs so that vulture couldn't move freely and taking out that beautiful micro. Pushed up, created the blockade. NaDa couldn't get that vulture through in the main to really do a proper harassment. And in the meantime, took out both that Marine and that vulture using that SCV blockade. Beautiful. But in the meantime, that starport is up, and we'll see if he decides to go Wraith again or if he's going to go drop. Now setting up his secondary. And really, I'm gonna assume actually that NaDa's gonna go early again. Gonna go that dropship earlier for reasons I was saying. Yeah, gonna try to get that dropship advantage early, and that might be a little more effective for him simply because Mind put that secondary round early, and he's it looks like he's upgrading siege in the meantime. Gonna
And
get that single siege tank to defend.
Nada
Go
has
ahead.
actually
Sorry.
kept his scouting SCV alive for quite a long while. You can see up in Mine's base a yellow dot just still moving around up there. I assume that's the
Yeah,
scouting SCV still just
I think
scoping
that might
things
be the
out.
Marine actually. That
Oh, it's a bird. Oh, I'm a friggin' moron. It's a stupid bird flying around.
It's okay.
Oh,
Wow, two
this
star
stuff.
ports in the meantime from NaDa or from Mine. We'll see if Mine decides to go for a two Wraith build, or again he's going to go for that double star port. Yeah, actually no, we're going to go for that double star port. So yeah, he is in fact. Haha, I was right. Looks like he's going to produce a Wraith alongside, but he's going to try to get some of those and two star ports again from NaDa. So yeah, gonna do for that double. Sorry, Cyreaver. Hate it when I'm right. Ha.
I
But in the
yeah.
meantime, looks like he's gonna get those two starports out to produce a lot. So it looks like it's gonna be a three vulture drop into Mine's base though, bringing that dropship up so he can drop those three vultures in the backside and do a bit of an economic harassment. And we'll see how effective this is. I don't think Mine has anything in the back of his base really to defend against this.
No, last we saw of Mine's base, he's just pretty much just been building supply depots there, and he's actually using a couple Marines just to chase off that barracks, and he's not prepared for this at all. So those vulture bugs are going to get in a lot of free kills, and Academy going up for Mine, but that's not going to help him at this point. We can see that NaDa doing a good job putting down some mines to prevent any sort of reinforcements from Mine's Marines, and he's just going to go in and harass that economy line, and Mine is actually just going to try to fight it off with Marines and SCVs, and actually Siege Tank coming down to help out too.
Yeah,
NaDa
what
can
did
push
those
back into a corner.
What happened to those mines to the north? I'm surprised those mines didn't take care of those incoming support forces. Maybe a second Marine came up and unplugged them. But yeah, Nada doing a lot of harassment in the meantime. It looks like he's going to lose these vultures here because they are pinned in the back of the base. But yeah, what happened to those mines to the north? I felt like they'd be a little
Well, there's only
bit.
one Marine left. I think what happened is that Mind saw the mines going down, sent in one Marine to take the hits so he could get the rest of his forces through.
Looks like two Wraiths being produced in the meantime. I don't think that cloaking was upgraded, so I think this Wraith is going to be very quickly taken out by this Marine. And the support Wraith that's going to be, yeah, these two support Wraiths are going to be shoving up in the meantime. So this counterattack not being effective at all for Mind. So Mind looks like he actually is upgrading cloaking, so thinking about going more of a Wraith attack in the near future. And this is interesting. Usually you don't see players doing this in the long run. Putting down an armory looks like in the meantime, so thinking about getting Goliaths to deal with those wraiths a bit. Also thinking about, of course, about level 1 upgrades. And it looks like NaDa actually, instead, yeah, I was just going to go to, I was wrong about the dropship, so shot on me again. Looks like both players just going to go for 2-star port Wraith. Only got the single control tower down. Both upgrading cloaks, so both going to go Wraith at each other, interestingly enough.
Mind is going to have the upper hand because he has an academy down. I don't think NaDa has an academy, so Mind is going to be able to use ComSat to be able to scan for NaDa's rates and still take them out effectively. NaDa, on the other hand, I don't think he has an engineering bay either. He has no detection at all for Mind's rates that he's massing up, and that's a nice force of rates coming down right there to help support those tanks. Unfortunately, Mind is going to lose one.
It looks like look at that inside 9 o'clock expansion going up, and I think that was been scouted out. If you look just to the north there, yeah, it has been scouted out. Those wraiths cloaked, and again, like you were saying, I don't think NaDa has anything. He's cloaking his wraiths, but I just don't think he has anything to detect at the moment. ComSat up, and I think that's the difference between that third expansion is while NaDa was getting that third expansion up, he wasn't getting an academy or ComSat down, and I think he lost his barracks as well. Looks like no, I take it back. He does have ComSat now. Surprised he backed out for his result. 2 more factories going down, and really I like that 2 Wraith build because immediately you can get that second starport down, or I'm sorry, that second control tower down, and then immediately you just start pumping dropships if you need to.
Yeah, right now we can see that just both. We're seeing that NaDa is trying to. I think he wants to harass Mind's mineral line, but he's just not sure what's in there, and he doesn't want to waste comsats in case he has to deal with Mind's Wraith force as well. So it's really just kind of hit and run here, cloak and dagger for both forces, and looks like NaDa's just opting to retreat right now and just mass up his forces and just try to hold that 9 o'clock, his third base, 9 o'clock expansion area there.
Second control tower going down, so it looks like Mind, now that he has that kind of a, what is that, about 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 wraiths out. He's got that wraith force out. Now he's switching into some dropship builds. Maybe thinking about going for some dropship hunting. Single dropship out for NaDa in the meantime. So NaDa taking a bit of an economic lead. He has that mineral expansion. He's been getting that second control tower down. He's going to be behind as far as factory production. Mind getting those 2 factories up. And I've mentioned in the past where I feel like Mine doesn't really care much for the middle game, and he likes transitioning to the late game as quickly as possible. And this is really what I mean. He'll get those 4 factories down before expanding a third for a third expansion. He likes getting his factories down out early, in my opinion, and just trying to push macro from that point. And yeah, and it looks like now NaDa, he's going to be significantly behind in production. Now, oof, big force from mine pushing up. Oh, and I don't know that NaDa. Let's see if he has something to fight it off. He's got 2 tanks, but 2 tanks aren't going to last against a bunch of Wraiths and those Goliaths.
No, I don't think they're going to last too long at all. Mine did the smart thing here. He realized that NaDa was producing more Wraiths than he needed to. He's going to got those Goliaths, and that's going to be very effective of getting rid of NaDa's Wraiths. We can see that NaDa's mainly composed of just siege tanks and Wraiths, and mine went for a good unit mix here, going for a combination of tanks, Goliaths, and Wraiths. And if he's very careful with his Wraiths, mine will be able to pick off NaDa's siege tanks and hopefully sneak his Goliaths in there to do some damage on the economy line.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago, back when goon stomping was really popular. The saying is Terran wins with mixed units, Protoss wins with dedication. And right now, it looks like mine does have the unit mix that is probably and going to be able to take out that barracks. So going to be able to stop any more factories from being put down. And as you can see, yeah, NaDa having to build another factory before he can continue building
Another barracks.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, another barracks before he can get more factories out to really get good use out of that third expansion.
Yeah, right. Right now we can see that NaDa just patrolling those Wraiths back and forth. Not quite sure what mine's up to. We can see that mine is taking the expansion just across from NaDa, so he's going to be getting his third base up here pretty soon as well. And like you said, I think mine just wants to get into the late game as soon as possible. You can see him getting those dropships. Nice group of dropships. He's loaded up his whole entire army in those dropships, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Will you think he'll go for the expansion or for the main?
My guess is it looks like kind of where he's going. He's going to go circle all the way around and go for the main, it looks like. And those Wraiths in the meantime out in the field going to try to take care of that barracks. He's not prepared for this at all. So at very least going to lose these 2 dropships. Yeah, going to drop all over the main. Going to go straight for the SCV line. NaDa doesn't have anything in position to deal with this. Going to lose that 1 dropship he had as well. So not a lot of trouble. He's going to have to try to bring those Wraiths back, but he's going to have a really hard time fighting this off. He just doesn't. He's just going to have to rely on reinforcements as they come in, I guess. And we'll see if mine manages to get his basically his force out in the meantime. He's got to worry a little bit about the. Let's see if NaDa does. He might be intelligent. Looks like he's bringing those Wraiths to kind of catch those dropships as they're trying to exit. But I don't. Yeah, he's losing his main entirely. Lost his command center at his main. So mine taking a huge lead here, absolutely gigantic lead. NaDa just totally caught out of position.
Yeah, NaDa now trying to sacrifice some SCVs just to help get his siege tanks into position so they can get into position without being fired upon. But that's not going to help because NaDa still has a nice group of Wraiths flying around. Oh, but they're actually never mind. He does not have a group of Wraiths flying around.
Looks like he did manage to take out these tanks. I think the dropships, I'm not sure if they escaped. I can't tell on the minimap. But NaDa, in the meantime, taking a big economic leap. He's basically now 3-2.
It's actually reinforcing.
Ouch. Reinforcing with another group, so NaDa once again cannot get that. And he can shell actually 2 positions here. He's going to shell across the ridge with that single tank right there. And he's basically stopping NaDa from getting his main back, and he's hitting those starports, so doing a lot of damage with this attack. And comsetting at the right moment, taking out a lot of those Wraiths. Just waiting for that glimmer. So NaDa's Wraith force completely decimated, and oh man. Not looking good for NaDa at this point. I'm not going to say it's GG right here, but going to be GG probably right here. Oh, huge drop at that 9 o'clock inside. Now NaDa is completely breached. So 3 expansions versus 1 at this point. Let's see if he ends up losing this expansion as well. He doesn't really have a place where he can fly it. Trying to use those barracks so he can't target, but more dropships it looks like they're almost escaped. And now basically no air defenses for NaDa. Lost his inside 9 o'clock. At least he can float that command center back to his main, and it's in the red. But yeah, mine taking a huge lead.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with you that the dropships really did pay off for mine in this. That you were saying they provide a lot more mobility. You can see that he's also dual expanding to the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And mine is just really securing this game in the bag, not just down to the 1 expansion. Actually, long-distance mining with some of his SCVs brings over the burning down command center, which is still burning down. And hopefully he notices that and repairs it before it burns down, hopefully. But I'm going to have to agree with you that the dropships were the key factor in this. So, unfortunately, I was wrong. I'll admit to it.
It's okay. Being wrong just makes you inferior. That's all. No, I'm just kidding. It's interesting though that I really want to point out the fact that Mind is expanding to 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock location, and he can afford to do that because he has so many dropships compared to NaDa. NaDa has to move out on the ground, and basically Mind can really quickly reinforce either of these locations. Well, decently quickly reinforce either of these locations
We're
with
gonna have a
dropships of
hiccup
his own.
in
Okay,
five
hold on.
seconds, so
Should
just
we
hold
let's
that
pause
thought.
right here?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that hiccup, guys. Wait, right back into the game. But really, Mind, yeah, as you can see, basically Nada has to move out on the ground. Looks like he's going to cancel going for another expansion. He's going to just, and he can defend with those dropships out in the air. So Nada can't really completely on the defensive, can't attack at any location he really wants to. I'm surprised that Mind actually hasn't loaded up a dropship with an SCV and decided to expand out to one of the island expansions in the meantime. Mind still testing the perimeter with that dropship force, just going to use the scalpel once, thinking about using the scalpel once again. But in the meantime, taking a huge economic lead, getting more factories down. Always thinking about the factories, getting more factories down, and just ouch, yeah, he's already got that 12 o'clock running. 6 o'clock looks like it's running as well, and he's just going to stomp on Nada here in a minute.
Yeah, Nada unfortunately just does not have enough resources to be able to combat. You can see he looks like he's now trying to take that island expansion under the nose of Mine. Hopefully he can sneak that off, but Nada just got set back a ton by losing not only his main, but also losing that inside 9 o'clock expansion pretty much at the same time, and that allowed Mind obviously to just he's getting his macro going like crazy now, and he's also secured 2 more expansions for himself. He has a huge economical lead. You look at all those factories getting produced
Yeah.
and all those machine shop add-ons there. That's just huge for Mind. There's not Boxer. Nada doesn't even come close in factory count right now.
Yeah, the one advantage that Nana does have is he does have that level 1 weapons upgrade versus the level 0 weapons upgrade. So maybe he'll be able to hold this off. It looks like he's dumping a lot of Goliaths
It's
to
like
try to pick
Mind
that
just
up.
scanned that island expansion.
Yeah,
I think he might be moving in there to just stomp Nada's dreams of having
yeah.
an island paradise with coconut trees and
Coconut juice flowing.
yeah.
The Island Girls. I just don't think. Yeah, he's going to comp set off actually the main for that same location. And with those Goliaths completely out of position, really Nada or I'm sorry, Mind has a lot of is playing somewhat defensive, I should say, because he's worried about the counterattack. Looks like that starport's actually going to burn down here. Surprising by Nada that he didn't decide to try to save it there. Guess just didn't feel like he wanted to invest the resources. But really, he's kind of Mind is a little bit on the defensive here. He doesn't want to let Nada kind of sneak in attack. He's just going to patrol in the meantime, wait until he maxes out at 200 probably, which will be like in a minute knowing him, and then just yeah stomp all over Nada. I don't think he even needs to worry about that island expansion. Honestly, that's just more forces that Nada has to commit to that island expansion that he's not down on his main force with. Actually, you could transition to battle cruisers here too if he wanted to. I just don't think he needs to.
I don't think he needs to either. I think he's taking an island expansion now. He's also taking the 6 o'clock natural expansion as well.
He's
So
taking every
Mind is
base.
just going everywhere. He's just going crazy. Oh man, he's like an oil company.
Getting a little greedy here.
Yeah.
Really, I don't even feel like he needed the. He's what got 4 expansions up on Nada now. I don't think he needed to grab the extra expansions that he did. I think he could have just won it at that point. But I guess going to play it safe. Going to play it, make sure that he has a dominant victory instead of anything that Nada can get back into. And I think this is an artifact from the last game where Nada again snuck back into it, just kind of cleanly snuck back into it. So so he's going to make sure no, you are not getting back into this game no matter what. And it's just going to stomp. It's just going to economically just turn into an economic powerhouse. He controls 3/4 of the map right now. That's absolutely insane. 3/4 of the map control. You rarely see that in a pro game. Looks like Nada's setting up another expansion, thinking about floating back out to that 9 o'clock. He's going to be greeted by some turrets though, and we'll see. And I think what Mind might be waiting for is maybe another weapons upgrade before he decides to push in. And actually, Nada has a decent sized drop force out. Looks like he had about 3 there. Three drop ships, but we'll see. Really, Nada just kind of waiting for his demise at this point, but doesn't want to get knocked out of the MSL, so just waiting for it.
Yeah. But again, I'm sorry, but look at that. Another expansion going up for Mine. So he's a greedy.
Greedy
He's
bastard.
very greedy, and he's pretty much just securing victory for himself. I think he's just telling Nada right here, right now, hey, you know what? I'm better than you, and this is why. I got the map, I got the forces, and you just can't stop me anymore. Like you
When
said,
we last
not
met,
like
I was yet the pupil, but now I am the master.
Yep. Now he's the master, and NaDa, unfortunately, he just can't keep up with his pupil anymore, and he's been pretty much, if you watched all 4 games, he's been on the defensive in almost in all those games, except for the last game. But he just got by the skin of his teeth at that. But again, we can see a huge drops going on for Mind here in the middle of the map. Good control by Mind, just trying to prevent NaDa from taking that inside 9 o'clock expansion.
Well, I think he's ended up. I think NaDa's going to actually take that, but I don't think it makes a difference at this point because, as you can see, Mind I don't think is being really calculated about this. He's just throwing troops at it, which is literally what he can afford to do. He can just literally throw troops at it at this point because he's got I'm not even going to count the expansion at this point. He owns the rest of the map. He has a buttload of factories, probably at the full 10 keys of factories hotkeyed at this point, so he can just basically play this like Zerg and Sauron up, just start throwing troops directly. Yeah, just start throwing troops directly at NaDa.
All those factories, holy crap, Batman! He's also taken the 12 o'clock natural expansion. The only expansion he doesn't have is the inside 9 and the inside 6, which is just insane. That's just so much resources that he has coming in, and like you said, he's playing pretty much hotkey 1, hit A, attack move pretty much right now.
I don't think he even needs to like hotkey any of its units anymore. I think he's just going straight to the factories and just like, hey, 1G, 2G, 3T, 4T, whatever, just going down the board and just having them all rally pointed right to outside NaDa's main at this point. At least he could afford to essentially do that at this point, considering. I'm surprised. Yeah, gonna come and just squash that attack.
Ooh, dropship's coming up for Mind here.
Yeah, but as you can see, he's just. I almost feel like he's like, almost like Jelizer, or like playing this almost like a Zerg player at this point. Doesn't even care about his barracks going down at this point. Just such a huge economic advantage. Really, I'm surprised that NaDa hasn't GG'd at this point. But again, I think it has to do with what's at stake here is getting dropped out of the MSL. Wow, a ton of turrets down in the meantime. So Mind, I guess, instead of building Goliaths or Vultures or something like that, is just going to turret up just going to absolutely contain NaDa. In the meantime, make sure that he can't pull anything like last game.
I think Mind should try playing Zerg for once. I think that'd be interesting to see because he's got the macro down for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, we see kind of like this where we saw with the Savior crossover, where he ended up getting kind of stomped by. I think he got stomped by GoRush there though. That was all in provocation though. GoRush was like, well, if you can't beat me with Zerg, maybe you should try Terran. So Savior tried to beat him with Terran and then couldn't. Which was kind of funny, actually. But anyway, I guess Savior's getting bored with it. I wouldn't mind seeing that either, just for the kick of it.
Yeah, kind of a standoff right now. Looks like NaDa letting another building burning down. His command center is burning down, and the SCV can easily repair that command center if he just floats it back just a little bit. But looks like NaDa is just a little busy right now, just trying to prevent Mind from dropping his base. You can see a crap load of dropships just having some kind of mating dance there or something. They're all just floating around in a nice circle there, Indian powwow circle.
I think it's funny because I think Mind is being a little bit cute here. He's pretending like those dropships aren't full of units. I'm pretty sure Mind's dropships are full of units at the moment, just kind of floating them above. So he's kind of waiting for NaDa to try to commit some forces underneath, and they're just going to unload. NaDa looking a little bit stressed. That's the most stressed I think I've ever seen NaDa, but not too crazy. More factories going down at the 12 o'clock location now. And I'm surprised, we didn't see that earlier actually. And more dropships coming in, and let's see where those are headed. I think this is going to be the killer blow right here. Yeah, just going to pummel it. And my guess is once these drop, we'll probably see a GG from NaDa sometime in the future.
Every time you say this is going to be the killer blow, last game it wasn't. So
yeah, I know. So maybe
reserve your judgment. That command center is going to go down though. So I think that was a decisive blow against NaDa losing that command center. And we can see that NaDa looks like a last ditch effort here is going somewhere. He's going to run into a lot of turns, so he's forced to drop off just short of his objective, which looked like to be the 12 o'clock inside expansion there, and Mind just retreating some forces. Actually, he doesn't care. He's bringing SCVs off the line to fight those troops off.
Replenish them, fast enough, and just going to, there's GG. So, it looks like Mind's going to advance. Did we miss saying anything? Yeah, go to su2gg.com, which is where both of us hang out in IRC chat along with other stuff. If you do any commentaries, we have like a new commentator section up, I think, there. And yeah, check out Savior, of course, if you guys haven't heard of him. He's got some fun commentaries up. Cold Draw! And stuff like that. I actually just favorited that.
Oh, and I made this funny G.I. Joe video on my website. You guys might like it, so...
Anyway, but thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, with some actual duels and triples out in the future with Cyreaver as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for having me along, Duty.
No problem.